Hello and welcome to the Josh and Tyler Show, the Tyler and Josh Show. I'm here with Tyler Wolf with 2S for fucking fantastic. How you doing, Tyler?
I'm doing all right. And you? Really
Oh,
wish
you
that
know.
YouTube ad in the background would shut the fuck up.
What's in the background?
So for this list, just so I can like refresh my memory on how bad some of the entries on this list are, I have a laptop with those exact videos playing on mute, but I already know exactly what they're going to say and do, so there really isn't that much of a shocker to it.
How did you know what I was gonna do?
I know you. That's how.
Yeah, it just makes sense. Anyway, today we're talking about our top 6 worst trailers. Top 10 makes us go to like a 2-hour time frame, and people apparently don't have that attention span. That's what I'm told. So we're gonna try to keep it to an hour. We'll see if that happens. It comes to 2 hours, just what it is. That's how the Josh and Tyler shows go. Worst trailers. Whether it's a good or bad movie, it doesn't matter. It is about the art and the cut of the trailer. It's about the way it's phrased, the way it's sound edited. Basically, everything that you put into that trailer. If you watch that trailer, it should make you want to see the movie. If it doesn't, why is it crap? That's the question, and that's what we're going to answer today. So, Tyler, I have one honorable mention I'd like to throw on here because I just don't want to talk about this farther, but I really have to say this. My honorable mention is Amazing Spider-Man 2 because that thing spoiled the hell out of that movie.
I have an entry on this list that is very similar. Like, we had to put a comic book movie trailer on here somewhere just because there is a lot of momentum and there is a lot just to keep to yourself. And Amazing Spider-Man 2, you're absolutely right. That is a prime example. I don't think it's the worst example, and you'll find out later. But that is a very good choice. And personally, I did.
So
yeah, and personally, I do have a couple dishonorable mentions, which I was going to put the trailers for Fantasy Island and Samurai Cop in there. But the reason I didn't put Samurai Cop on here is because the trailer was interspliced with quotes calling it one of the worst movies of all time. And that's when it really occurred to me that this trailer was like playing up to just how fucking inconsistent and stupid and just poorly made Samurai Cop is, right down to the fact that they include the fact that this Samurai Cop speaks fluent Japanese, and yet he can't get a single Japanese last name correct. It has all the sound inconsistencies, all of the really stupid "you're short down there" sexual metaphors that all the women give him, which nice.
Yeah.
But that's one dishonorable mention. And the other one was
very special.
Yeah,
I've watched this. I want to watch it again. And I like bad movies.
Yeah. And the other dishonorable mention, the only reason I didn't put Fantasy Island on here was because even though the movie itself can be unintentionally hilarious, the trailer really wasn't. If anything, it was actually boring. It made me wish I was watching the Truth or Dare trailer, because the Truth or Dare trailer at least had those stupid derp faces that make everybody laugh and just make you wonder, how is this scary? It's only scary if someone smiles to you like that on the bus. We're not on a bus. We're in a movie theater looking at a giant screen. But still, the Fantasy Island trailer is absolutely horrific. It still has all those unintentionally hilarious things that people find scary. It has a very, very shitty dub, an EDM dub of my favorite things from Sound of Music, because that really goes into the wish fulfillment thing.
Well, why not just do soundtrack choices on my list of things that just had poor soundtrack choices? I just want to throw this out there. I think the best trailer of all time is Logan with Johnny Cash's Hurt. That is a phenomenal trailer. I can't think of any movie I was more hyped for. Like, everything about it made me want to watch that movie. But that is not that list. That is a list for another time. Yeah. What was the other one you wanted to mention besides Fantasy Island there and Samurai Cop?
No, those were the only two dishonorable mentions personally.
Yeah, I just Amazing Spider-Man. I just suck.
It gives everything. It gives the clock tower thing away.
Yeah, they're like, here's the Rhino. He shows up for 30 seconds, and you saw all of his footage in the trailer.
Yeah, it's like Doug Walker in his bum reviews. It's just like, oh yeah, Rhino's in the movie. I'm in the movie, and that's all he does. And then he carried that on for like the next few trailers. And I'm just like, this should be a recurring bit. I like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of bits there. I don't know if we have any bits on our show yet, but one day we will have a bit, and it's not just about Jenga, because that is a long Jenga game. Anyway, tell me what your number 6 worst trailer is for you here?
Well, my number 6 worst trailer is actually for a movie I like. I know I'm a big fan of the Coen brothers. You're
You
hit and
I'm
miss
it's hit and
personally.
miss. I really do love True Grit. Really do love True Grit.
Yeah, but I actually enjoyed Hail Caesar. I don't think it's one of their
Mm.
best, but it's kind of in the middle in terms of their filmography for me. I think it is a beautifully shot and occasionally very hilarious filler movie that's a lot more concerned with showing just how beautiful the golden age of cinema absolutely was, as opposed to having a very tight story about how certain actors and filmmakers do get silenced based on differing political values. And it's nice to know that that doesn't happen anymore, but
Oh, never, never. No one's getting
that is a
nothing.
totally different video that
My sarcasm on level that it should be.
yeah. But not gonna lie, when I saw this trailer, I was actually very disappointed. And having actually seen the movie, because a friend of mine talked me into it, we always went to go see something on every Saturday. It just felt like something to pass the time. So I went just on the possibility that, we've had really shitty trailers before. Like Kung Fu Panda always has crappy trailers, and the movies turn out absolutely great. And I know with Kung Fu Panda's case, like, how do you market Kung Fu Panda? You have like no route but to cater to the stupidest bits as opposed to the actual really fantastic character drama.
Do we really need
But
to market pandas? They're pretty cute.
Jack Black is not cute, though. That's the problem. But anyways, having actually seen Hail Caesar, I just couldn't believe how bad of a marketing job that they did with this for two specific reasons. For one, the trailer itself is false advertising, to put it mildly. They frame it around the George Clooney character being kidnapped and how Josh Brolin involves Scarlett Johansson, Jonah Hill, Frances McDormand, Channing Tatum, Han Solo. I have no idea how to pronounce Alden, whatever his last
Alden
name
Emmerich?
is.
Emmerich?
Thank you.
I think
Yeah.
that's how it goes.
And
yes.
Ray Fiennes, Channing Tatum, all these people getting involved to solve and possibly rescue George Clooney. That's not even remotely what this trailer is about. The majority of those arcs really just serve for the purpose of filler, especially with Jonah Hill and Frances McDormand's appearances in the trailer, because those exact scenes are literally the only scenes that they have in the entire movie. And the fact that they slapped Jonah Hill and Frances McDormand's names on the poster too is just advertising for star power. And based on the amount of box office numbers that they had, that only worked by pure luck. So that's one main reason. And the other reason is just that the comedy that they use to advertise this movie just features some of the most generic bits for any comedy in particular. And a part of me wonders if they shoved in the dumbest aspects, kind of like with Kung Fu Panda, to hide the greater aspects of the story or a lack thereof. So I don't really blame them on that end. But at the same time, like, the highlight of the trailer for me is George Clooney giving this big, epic biblical monologue in the vein of the Ten Commandments. And it pauses with him going, line. And that bit doesn't even happen until like 5 minutes before the movie's over. So even the Coens knew it wasn't really that good of a bit. It's hard for me to really describe, but it just gives the impression that studios think that we need a super tight story, or we need a story in order to be engaged. But the simple fact of the matter is, if audiences needed a story to get invested, they wouldn't go watch Transformers movies.
Yeah, that's true. I just want to check something. I was arguing with someone on Reddit because that's what people do. And again, the trailer is everything. And they were saying how Andy Samberg's Pop Star Never Stop Stopping movie didn't do well at the box office because it was very bad. And I was like, well, I don't think the movie's very bad. I think it appeals to a certain amount of fans, but I think what it opens up against and how it presents the trailer is very, very key, because audiences, and you might agree with me, you might not, audiences don't want to think. If you go to the theater and you can see established franchise, big star in an indie drama, or you can see some tiny little movie called Pop Star, you're not going to see the little movie. And the guy's like, well, no, people think and they make choices. I'm like, you think people make choices. Some people just go to the movies to watch shit happen. So, like, they don't care. And If you have a bad trailer like a Hail Caesar, yeah, I saw this movie. I never saw the trailer when I saw the movie, but I saw the movie and I loved it. It's personally probably one of my favorite Coen Brothers movie. I just picked it up on Blu-ray the other day because I was like, oh, man,
Oh,
I
nice.
got it for cheap, and I was like, I'll watch this. I like it. I like old Hollywood. That was the draw to me. And the trailer for me did not hit. But even a Pop Star, a Hail Caesar, anything like this, if you have a bad trailer, people aren't watching your movie. That's straight up what the problem is. And it could be the most best movie in the world, but they ain't gonna watch it.
Well, like I'd say people went and saw Ghostbusters because of how bad the trailer was. I mean, I sure as hell did, but I'm just one person. And judging by the fact that they had to get Ivan Reitman, the original director's son, Jason, to helm the new one, which is very interesting because if you've watched Jason Reitman's movies, and I'm a big fan of Jason Reitman, they are 100% different in terms of tone and subject matter than the actual franchise itself. And of course, there's that whole thing where Reitman said, oh, we're giving it back to the fans as if it was an insult to Paul Feig's movie, even though his dad produced the Paul Feig movie. So there really isn't that much animosity to it. And again, that's a whole other story in and of itself.
Well,
but I don't know, like people are drawn to advertising
Yeah.
that looks like shit. And they want to see like if it really builds up to that momentum. Every time there's a bad comic book movie trailer, people still go see it because they're afraid that their characters are being damaged or irrepaired. It's the reason everyone went to see Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and walked out disappointed, except for me, my best friend, and my mom, because we really didn't have a problem with it.
Right, so
I honestly still don't have a problem with it. I know it's not a good movie, but like it has the nostalgia value to it where I can let that stuff slide.
So I went to see this with my youth group, like way, way back in the day. This is what, I don't know, whatever. And we went to this movie, and I'm the biggest Indiana Jones fan. All the people that were seeing the movie, and I looked around at everyone after we finished the movie, and I wasn't horribly upset at it, but I had a lot of questions, and I was like, okay, this isn't what I'm used to, and like everyone's like, oh, that was amazing, and this and that. I'm like, wait, what about this, and what about this, and what about this? They're like, why are you dissecting the movie? I'm like, because we're supposed to think, not be morons. Okay, we got to think about what we're seeing, and maybe you like it, maybe you don't, but why do you like it? And they couldn't give me an answer.
Hey, some movies serve for the purpose of junk food. Let's be honest about that.
That's Death Wish 4. But I'm like, I didn't hate it at the time. I was just confused, and I was trying to figure out why I didn't love it, because I loved every other one, and that was like, I think that was I haven't gone back and watched that for a long, long time, but I don't dislike it. I just don't understand it, and I'm just confused at how it got made.
Trust me. Trust me. That part I completely understand.
I like the killer ants. That's about what I can say about it. I like the killer ants are just so dumb. It's so awesome. But then so were the bugs, and so were the rats, right? So were the snakes. Yeah. It's like, there's that robot chicken clip. They're like, snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? And he's like, old white men. Why did it have to be old white men or whatever? Or what is it, old potheads or something? I don't know. It amused me greatly.
What else is now?
Well, yeah. So number 6 for me is one that I like. I like this as a movie. It's not as good as the original. It is a sequel. I think this movie has a lot of merits on its own. The original, by far, is definitely a more iconic movie. But Jaws 2, the trailer, is the most disappointing thing on the planet. I think Jaws 2 as a movie has some really fun moments. We get to see a little more of Brody and Ellen and the mayor and the world I want to go back to. It's definitely not as good as the first Jaws, because that is a excellent walk through the park in character work. But Jaws 2, this is the trailer, Tyler. I'm going to summarize it for you. That's a shark. That's a shark. Is that a shark? I can't get rid of that shark. I can't believe that's a shark. It's a shark movie. It's called Jaws. It's the biggest blockbuster ever. You have to say the word freaking shark. I get it. There are sharks. They're going to eat people. Okay? We don't need to say, and I tell you, they say, that's a shark in a minute 52. 8 freaking times. They say it in different variations, such as, that's a shark. Is that a shark? Look, that's a shark. I can't believe it's another freaking shark. Okay? Why? I mean, 1978, 4 years after Jaws came out, this thing is huge. Steven Spielberg blows up. Who doesn't know what a freaking shark is? It's Jaws. You know what Jaws is. You know the theme music. No, dun, 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 dun. I imagine everyone was quoting, we're going to need a bigger boat. We're going to need a bigger trailer because they said that's a shark 8 freaking times. And it pisses me off. Anyway. My rants. How does that rank on the Josh rants?
Oh, that's in your top 3 for sure.
I don't know. It just made me really angry. I like the movie, but the trailer sucks.
That's fair. You know what? That does remind me. You once told me when I said that I was on the only person on the planet that liked Mary Poppins 2 more than the first one. I'm pretty sure you said you liked the second one more than the first, or did I get that wrong?
Oh, no, I think they're both on par for me. The first one holds a lot more nostalgia. I did really enjoy the second one. It had a lot of charming moments, and I'm really glad I watched it because I've been putting it off because people didn't like it, but you liked it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch it. And I enjoyed it. I think it's a charming little movie. I don't know why people hate on it so much. It's nice. It's a very nice movie. Good music.
Because it's a sequel to their childhood or some shit like that.
Anyway, what comes in at your number 5?
Okay, number 5 is a very small indie drama with a few big name actors called Welcome to the Rileys, which yeah, exactly. It was directed by Ridley Scott's son, who makes much smaller movies in comparison to his dad, which you got to give him credit on that for not trying to ride the nepotism train. Yet another thing that Jason Reitman succeeds at as a director just by being his own individual, which is really nice. But yeah, as I'm watching this trailer here, it does have a lot of good things going for it, namely the performances from Emmy winner James Gandolfini, Oscar winner Melissa Leo, Kristen Stewart during her Twilight days. This was one of those movies where she was trying to prove that she had actual acting chops. And I gotta say, I will say this, like, it's a tough character for her to portray because this movie is about a married couple dealing with the loss of their adult daughter by moving to New Orleans and unintentionally becoming parental figures for Kristen Stewart, a runaway stripper. And I know all of these good things the movie has going for it because this is one of several trailers in life that just gives away fucking everything over the course of 2 minutes. And what's even more shocking is that something I've noticed with bad trailers, they have a tendency to spoil all of the events, but they don't spoil the motivations. And sometimes that can be a good thing in order to leave some mystery for an audience member. This is not one of those instances. The fact that they leave out the motivations in order to justify these characters doing really stupid choices makes them look utterly insane, and it makes this trailer seem unbelievably rushed. For example, this is literally like a series of clips within this trailer. We go from one shot of James Gandolfini seeing Stewart in a restaurant. Next shot, he randomly decides that he's going to pay for her meal, even though he's met her for the first time, doesn't even know her name, doesn't know anything about her. He's just like, here, let me get that for you. It's just like, huh? Like, what did I miss? Did I get up to go to the bathroom in between the trailer? Like, what the fuck's going on? Next shot is when he looks at her and goes, so you're a stripper, huh? How old are you? Cut to him telling his wife, I'm not coming home from this business trip to New Orleans. Doesn't point out that he's moving in with a runaway teenager and doing like some handiwork around the house. And I just sat there. I'm like, okay, look, I get that your wife is utterly depressed and is so severely mentally ill to the point where she can't leave her house. And you know this because the trailer has a clip of the sister going, look at my older sister who is so frustrated with life that she can't even exit her own driveway. And it's just like, wow, way to put the exposition dump right before the middle of the trailer. Like, we're not even 20 seconds in and you're already spoiling this shit for us. It's utterly insane. Look, Welcome to the Rileys takes a very strange and kind of creepy concept and tries to at least bring a more sympathetic human level to it. And I can't remember the director's name. I know he's Ridley Scott's son, but I'm pretty sure it's like Jake Scott or something like that. But
I'm just double checking.
Yeah, and of course the halfway twist where Melissa Leo does actually fly out to New Orleans and breaks her agoraphobia, which great. Not something you want to give away right in the trailer. You don't want to give away the two of them hugging each other for the first time, being happy for the first time in years, to all of a sudden going, okay, there's this girl that I moved in with. She's got a lot of names because she's a stripper. She, of course, sees Kristen Stewart, runs away like any other sane person. It's just like, she is not going to replace our daughter. Do you have any idea what's going on? Next scene, oh, my daughter died in a car crash. And Kristen Stewart goes, that sucks. Yeah, it does suck. Next scene, what are you going to do? You going to slut yourself out to these people? You're not my fucking mother. It's just like, there is no continuity within this trailer. And judging by the very last shot of the trailer, it is definitely the last shot of the movie based on who is in the shot and who isn't. Like, this is just one of several trailers where there is no continuity, and it makes everyone look like a bunch of fucking lunatics. It is utterly insane.
I'm not a fan of when they show the final shot of the movie in the trailer or the last scene or two, because they shouldn't do that, because I've paid to see the movie.
Like, I'm taking a wild guess here because it's two characters walking down a street. Like, seriously, that's the most cliched ending shot you could possibly think of. And well, full disclosure, I've never seen Welcome to the Rileys just because
the trailer.
Do I have to at this point? Like, this could have been like a 2.5 minute short film, and this would have gotten the Oscar for best live action short film. Trailers should really become short films and be eligible for awards.
I'd be down for that. Yeah, I really like Kristen Stewart in Still Alice. She gave a really great performance. I don't know if you got a chance to catch that with.
I've seen bits of it, and like all the actors do a really good job.
She's great in The Runaways. Funny you should mention that, the biopic about Joan Jett and The Runaways.
I havenn't seen that, but I
was. She does a really good job in that punk band. Joan Jett did I Was Rock and Roll, so.
Yeah.
Really, I really do think Kristen Stewart probably deserves a better career, but will she get it? We're gonna find out, really, straight up. Twilight.
It'll take a few years, but she'll get there.
Twilight, just like Robert Pattinson, is not a reflection of any of the people's skills in that movie. That movie it's like Star Wars. The only person like Natalie Portman, that does not reflect her acting skills. She's a phenomenal actress when you put her in a small indie movie or when she's playing First Lady with Jackie. Again, franchises cannot represent what people do, but it will haunt them for the rest of their lives. But it makes them money too,
that's true.
So I'm sure they play that on random channel over and over again.
I'm willing to bet. Like, I mean, I'm surprised AMC hasn't picked up Welcome to the Rileys. It seems like a movie you could watch over and over again.
Well, I got an oddball number 5 one. I was looking forward to this movie. I watched the movie. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life, I think. Honestly, this is the strangest Jackie Chan movie that I've ever seen. I don't know how to exactly describe it, but it's like if you made a Bollywood Indiana Jones, but you were trying to do quippy dialogue like Lethal Weapon. So the trailer, it's called Kung Fu Yoga, okay? It's from 2017. Jackie Chan plays an archaeologist who has to go and find this artifact, and it's a multi-language crossover film. It's like Korean and China and Japanese. And they go to these ridiculous CGI sets and everything, almost sort of reminiscent of Exodus: Gods and Kings bad CG. And but they take this awkward, it's supposed to be a Jackie Chan comedy, right? This Jackie Chan foreign language comedy. And I'm fine with that because Jackie Chan makes really good jokes occasionally, and he does really good action. But they showcase all the worst moments of the movie in the trailer. And then when they do go to do the jokes, they don't hit because it's like they ripped off Inception with the bwahs and and they're trying to make this epic adventure, right, but they're really trying to bring it down to a low-key comedy. And at one point in this movie, what they don't put in the trailer, which they totally should have, they start singing Lady Gaga's Poker Face around a campfire in harmony with the natives of the area. It's very strange. It's very odd. That should have been in the trailer. That would get me to move it. It just cuts randomly, and the fighting they show is not the best fighting. It's like they sent them all the worst clips and the worst lines. They're like, now make it Inception. Kung Fu Hustle is bad. The trailer is worse. Oh, and by the way, in Kung Fu Hustle, when they find the treasure, there's a giant 15-minute Bollywood dance scene for the credits. Because reasons.
Of course there is. It's a Bollywood movie. One of these days, I really gotta. One of these days, I really gotta watch a Bollywood movie. Like
Oh, they're fun. They're really fun.
I've entertained the possibility. I've also that one time the Hong Kong movie The Mermaid came out and it actually hit like Cineplexes in our area. I almost thought about it and then I can't remember why. I just didn't follow through on that. But
Well, see, if Cineplex puts out a weird movie, something I have no clue what it is, I walk into these movies blind, these random foreign movies in a different language, and I have the best or the worst time. There's usually about 4 people there, and sometime I watch like some crazy like time traveling wizard who's an archaeologist and he has a sword and I don't know, it's a parody movie, or it's like the 4th movie in a franchise with dragons and moving cities, and it's pretty cool. Or you get kung fu yoga, and yeah.
Yeah, this sounds like the worst possible sequel to his Armor of God franchise, because that's
phenomenal.
That is Jackie Chan doing Indiana Jones and doing it better and worse depending on what movie and which scenes in particular, especially the one where he cracked his head open and almost killed himself.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I think he paralyzed himself once too. Think of Exodus, Gods and Kings with Jackie Chan mixed with Bollywood, and then put that into a trailer, but make it sound like Inception when it's nothing like Inception.
I don't even remember the CG in Exodus being that bad. I mean, it was less convincing than Prince of Egypt, which is really saying something.
Oh, Prince of Egypt was animated, so at least it's got that.
Yeah, that's the point.
But yeah, it's just a bad trailer. I mean, I watched this and I was like, well, the movie's better than the trailer, but this trailer is really bad. Because Jackie Chan has put out some good movies as of late. This one is not a good one, and this one is not a good trailer.
I'll take your word for it.
Because I mean, there are bad movies that have great trailers. Like A Good Day to Die Hard had the best trailer. Awful movie. I like the Don't Stop Me Now, where they're going around.
The trailer really did it justice, but okay.
They're running around the stairwells, the 2 of them. You see the bad guy, Don't Stop Me Now. They've got the epic music. They show the car chase. They show all the best parts, and they really do a good job of making that look really cool. The 10 minutes that is cool. So if they had done that with this, you know, like singing around a campfire, singing Lady Gaga's Poker Face in time,
I feel like that's too good of a moment to spoil.
It's so dumb. Anyway, what's your number 4 here? Trailer that sucks, man.
Okay, my number 4 is the comic book movie part of this list. And it was a toss-up between this movie or Venom in terms of the worst, but I give Venom a bit of a pass just based on how much they don't actually give away in regards to spoiling the dumbest aspects of the film. And plus, there are 1 or 2 decent moments, namely revolving around Tom Hardy and Venom being bonded together. Like those parts, you'd go to a theater just to see that on a big screen. Just those moments in particular. Like I'm not one of those people who gave to the $800 million box office hit that is Venom.
I haven't actually seen Venom. I've heard it's all right. That's about my thought process on it. Like it's.
I have not seen it, and the only reason I'm going to watch Let There Be Carnage is because Andy Serkis is the one who directed it. But my number 4 pick is the second official trailer for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, because for one specific reason. With BVS, a movie where the introduction, conflict, and resolution between 2 of the most iconic superheroes of all time taking place over the course of a single movie, which is a really bad idea. You got to give credit to Marvel for spreading out the feud between Team Cap and Team Iron Man over the course of Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. They at least took their time in patching up the broken relationships between the characters. Yes, it's technically a little bit more safe, but it's also still a little bit more organized. But that's exactly what this fucking trailer does. It shows the introduction between Batman and Superman at that one gala. I do give them credit that they only show bits and pieces of the conflict. They don't really show the full fight between Batman and Superman, which is the reason that when that scene happened, when I saw it in theaters, it was still really awesome and incredibly suspenseful. It's one of the best sequences that Zack Snyder has ever put on screen, which is saying something, because as overrated and overly stylistic as he does have his moments in particular. But I mean, the fact that you show the introduction, conflict, and the overall resolution of the movie over the course of 3 minutes in a single trailer is just a really stupid idea. I hate the fact that we see the 2 of them coming together with Wonder Woman when they finally have to fight Doomsday, who still looks like a fucking Ninja Turtle.
Or Abomination from The Incredible Hulk.
Abomination looked better, if I'm being honest. But the worst part of this trailer is that every explanation about the plot is basically one of the many, many stupid lines brought by Jesse Eisenberg pretending to be Lex Luthor. I still don't know how anyone can justify this performance, but
Harry, you want it?
What's that? No. fuck the Jolly Ranchers. Give me a Swedish berry and maybe I'll do it.
I burst out laughing hilariously in the theater at that line. I just could not keep it together. Someone turns around, they're like, what? I'm like, it's funny, man.
Like, I get the metaphor that they're going for, but like there's a difference between the metaphor that you can't show because it's a PG-13 movie to shoving a Jolly Rancher down your intern's throat. Like, honestly. And the fact that the introduction to Lex Luthor is him playing basketball in his own gym, like, yeah, evil criminal mastermind billionaire just shooting hoops in his own private gym, because that's intimidating and complex and Shakespearean. But yeah, every single line in this trailer is just him pointing out what a great thing it is that Batman and Superman are in the same movie. Boys, Bruce Wayne meets Clark Kent. I love it. I love having people together. How are you? Wow, that is a nice script. You should not pick a fight with this guy. He might as well be the kid on the playground that goes, hey, everybody, Batman and Superman are going to fight each other. Isn't that fucking awesome?
You did a great Michael Cera impression.
Yeah, especially in that Apple Watch commercial. Oh, my God. But yeah, I mean, seriously, yeah, we get it. Like, Bat of Gotham, Son of Krypton, we get it. Batman and Superman are in the same movie after decades of trying. And the fact that this movie was the end result, I mean, it's better than what could have been, because the 90s and early 2000s ideas sounded incredibly stupid. But this movie would have been a hell of a lot awesome if we didn't see all of these things for ourselves months ahead of the movie's release. I know for a fact that we as an audience knew they were going to come together at the very end. That doesn't mean we want to see how. So yeah, that's how I feel about Batman.
I don't know. That movie happened. I remember watching the extended cut when it came out on Blu-ray, and I was like, yep, they added more peach tea. Definitely wanted to see that.
Well, the director's cut is still technically better, because when you watch scenes of the director's cut compared to scenes of the one that was theatrical, there are so many continuity errors that you hadn't noticed before, and it just seems significantly put together. It's one of the reasons I still kind of have faith in the Snyder cut, even though it, like any Snyder movie, is nothing but CGI'd slow motion.
Yeah, it's 4 hours long.
Which I can handle. I mean, I've sat for 3.5 hour movies, and some of them are absolutely awesome. I mean, Once Upon a Time in America, best gangster movie I've ever seen, 3.5 hours long. First half of it, there really isn't that much talking. Like, there is some, but not a ton.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Zack Snyder, for me, made a big splash on the scene with 300, which I thought was really cool at the time. I've gone back and revisited it, and I still like it. I do think it's a lot of style over substance. And then Sucker Punch, I just didn't care about. I'm sorry. I didn't get it.
Why do people care about that?
I guess they use the random fighting as an analogy for mental illness or something, and I don't know. I mean, it's got a cool poster. I mean, there's some few cool moments, but it's forgettable. But I don't know. Just everyone's saying, I don't know what the Zack Snyder fanboys are saying and if they hate me or not, but I love Robert Rodriguez, but I don't think everything he's ever done is great. I think there's a lot of duds in his discography, but I think he has more positive than negative. And I don't
just look at his most recent movie.
Yeah, but if we can't just jump into one director and say everything they do is perfect, there's always going to be flaws, and we can't just be like, it's perfect, and don't just defend it because. Go and make opinion about it before you argue on the internet. That's what I'm saying. See it.
That's the only reason I didn't review The Irishman. I knew all the Scorsese nut jobs would go at me like, oh my God, you have no concept of taste in film. Have you seen these movies before? And it's just like, yeah, I have seen them. And guess what? They're all the fucking same. Like Goodfellas, Casino, Wolf of Wall Street, they're all the fucking same.
I think
so. What? Wolf of Wall Street is a Jonah Hill comedy. What do you fucking do? It has all the cliches that Goodfellas and Casino had.
I've seen Moneyball too. I like Casino.
Yeah, but Moneyball's good.
Yeah, Jonah Hill gets to be comedic in that. But yeah, I just sort of watched trailer 2 while you were talking about it, and I was like, oh, I remember that. I remember I was really excited after trailer 1 when they said, "Do you bleed?" and then this happened, and I was like, okay, maybe.
Oh, that's not the trailer I'm talking about, but that's a good one too.
Oh, I like the trailer. He's like, "Do you bleed?" And he's just in the sky, and they cut, and that got me excited for Batman v Superman.
And
I
you know
like
what?
Batman, and I think Superman's OP, but
Yeah. And like Justice League was on a couple days ago, and when Superman said it right back at him, I just went, no.
Yeah, it doesn't really work.
No.
If you were to, here's a fun question: Batman v Superman. Who would you like to have directed that? So it didn't suck.
That's a tough one. Maybe Robert Rodriguez, because I mean, him directing an actual comic book adaptation would be interesting, and especially because we've both seen what he did with the budget for Battle Angel, and admittedly, he wouldn't have had that budget if James Cameron didn't cough it up for him. If
and Sin City's a great
James Cameron wasn't. Yeah, and like plus with Battle Angel, it was because James Cameron was going to direct it, and then for some reason he thought that we want more Avatar sequels.
I don't.
Neither do I.
You know what I want? I want James Cameron to direct Piranha 3. He directed Piranha 2. Give me Piranha 3. Anyway, moving on.
We do not want to see Piranha 3 DDD.
James Cameron would probably make it tasteful.
Yeah,
I know.
But anyways,
my number 4, I went a little older because this is a movie that I adore. This is my second favorite music of all time. My first being Singing in the Rain. My second being Take Me Out to the Ball Game. So this is a 1950s musical with Gene Kelly, Frank Sinatra, Betty Garrett, and Esther Williams, the swimming star. Now this is a fun, whimsical musical, basically about these two guys who are on a baseball team. Oh, there's the third guy who's in them as well as On the Town, which is a very famous song. New York, New York, a wonderful town. So basically, they're on a baseball team and they're having a slump year, and they fall in love with the girls and they sing songs, and it's fun, and they try to get bought out by other teams. And it's a quirky. It's an hour and 40 minutes. It's really fun. They sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" and they have very whimsical songs. But for the trailer, they decided that they should show you a 4-second clip of every song. They're like, "It's fate, baby, it's fate." Okay, cut to next song. Yeah, you don't hear that song. Don't worry about that song. But then like the first minute of the trailer, because it's only a minute and 45 seconds, is literally like a baseball diamond with extras of footage that's not in the movie. And the actors, they're saying, introducing in front of a curtain that's not in the movie. They're like, "It's Frank Sinatra." And I'm like, "Yeah, he's in front of a curtain. You're going to show me the movie? Oh, look, it's Gene Kelly. He's got a hat. Great." This movie has some of the most charming musical numbers that I've ever seen. It's my second favorite musical of all time. It's fun, it's whimsical. It's got a plot that keeps it together enough that you can watch this over and over again. And it's got some really great music and writing and direction in here. And Frank Sinatra plays a tiny wimp. This is one of his first movie roles right after Man with the Golden Arm and such. And there's a really fun water ballet scene with Esther Williams. A little less cheesy than Miss Piggy from The Great Muppet Caper. But it's just, they didn't know how to cut a trailer. And that's why it wasn't a hit. It was not a hit at all because the trailer was crap. And I think this should have been a hit. I think this should be the movie they play on Turner Classic Movies. They're like, "Next up, Take Me Out to the Ball Game." It should be mentioned up there with a Singing in the Rain because it's got the same sort of pacing and style, and it's got that same sort of level of comedy as well. I just think if it had a better trailer, people might watch it. So, yeah.
Totally fair. I have not seen Take Me Out to the Ball Game, but
you'd like it.
You'd have to have been born yesterday, or at least born in the 2020s, to have never heard of that song before, or at least not heard of the title. So that really goes to show how iconic it has been, even if people aren't aware of it. Don't you just love movies like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few movies that have those titles, but then live up to nothing. Looking at you, World of Warcraft. Anyway, it was okay. But yeah, that's my number 4. Just sell your movie, don't sell the stars. Basically, that's what their big mistake was.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
so my
3.
Yeah, my number 3 is one that I would not have known existed if this wasn't featured on my Blu-ray for the movie Shadow, which is a really good Chinese martial arts movie. It's on Netflix. If anyone hasn't seen it, be sure to check it out. But I hate when this happens.
I love it when a plan comes together. I've not seen Shadow though. I'm going to check it out now since I, have access to the Netflix and such. So I like a good movie. I do.
Oh, it's totally worth it. It's a martial arts movie that has more of a spy thriller plot, and the action takes place a little bit more in the second half, but it's still incredibly well done. It's from the guy who made Hero and House of Flying Daggers.
Oh,
so
man,
dude really knows his stuff.
What did I watch? I watched the House of Flying Daggers, Tiger King Dragon, Forbidden Kingdom the other week. A phenomenal triple feature, let me tell you.
Oh, absolutely.
Great stuff. Hard to explain, but good stuff.
Yeah, it
So
is.
random.
But anyways, the first time I popped in this Blu-ray and this trailer popped up, I was actually pretty impressed by the large spectacle that this trailer really does have to offer. It has lots of tracking shots of these very beautiful ancient palaces. One of them I actually looked up, apparently took 5 years to build. And as a result of that, when it was done after filming this movie, they were going to donate it to an amusement park. So some effort actually does go to show. There's some beautifully colorful costumes and some very obvious but decent enough CGI effects where you can tell that they didn't really have the budget, but they still made the most of it. They still made it look as beautiful as possible. Like when these two women in beautiful white robes turn into these geese or swan or whatever out of thin air. So
Like
they established the fantasy dynamic very quickly. But then they get to the Emperor of China being thrown around in the air by an unseen force that meows. And it meows in the best public domain sound effects you could possibly get off of iMovie. Good. Because this movie is called Legend of the Demon Cat. I am not kidding, folks. This is fucking real. And I encourage you to look this up because this is such an unbelievably unintentionally hilarious trailer, and one that I feel bad putting on here because how can you market something that is called Legend of the Demon Cat without making people just scratch their heads and avoid the temptation to scratch and lick themselves?
Maybe it's a giant murderous cat with like armor and anthropomorphic and like will murder your face or something.
Well, that'd be great if that were actually the case, but no, after the emperor being thrown around to the sound of Salem having a bad fur day,
for sure.
It's any Sabrina fans who are watching, they understand that joke.
Yeah.
From then on, this trailer introduces a poet who I guess is hired to transcribe what the emperor is going through, which maybe makes him a psychic, maybe it doesn't. I have absolutely no idea. There's no real explanation for what a poet is going to do to solve this demon cat situation. They bring in this Japanese monk who sails overseas, and I am not kidding whatsoever. Even though he's a monk, he flat out says, I have never been in a Buddhist temple before. Gotta love the level of experience and dedication to your religion and your spirituality.
He dropped out of at grade 9 and decided school wasn't for him, and he was going to be a monk.
Yeah, and for a solid minute and a half, they go right back to what the first 30 seconds were, just showing off all of the sets, the costumes. There's so much dance choreography. Everybody is happy. And one thing that I noticed rewatching before this video is that you can totally tell all this dancing is happening after they have dealt with the demon cat, because one of the guards is dancing and he has cat scratch marks on his cheek already, and he's smiling, he's dancing, they're all happy, and it's just like, wow, how fucking stupid do you think audience members are?
Maybe they could put a digital mustache over on top from Henry Cavill and be less awkward.
Oh, the best part is this guy has like the John Waters mustache that's kind of halfway down. It looks so stupid, especially with what I'm about to point out next, because this trailer, once they're done like showing all the happiness that's going to happen afterwards, it's just like, oh yeah, we have to go back to showing the cat. So we get like this floating POV of the demon going through the castle and just going, Rah! You get, cut to black, fade back in. There's a guy with a katana. He is supposedly slashing at nothing in midair. There's blood that splatters all over the revolving door. Everyone's just freaking out. You just go, my eyes, they've been scratched out. And we see it in very gruesome detail. And it's just like, well, damn, Salem, you really didn't have to be that mean. And then we get the scene that shows how that one guard got his scratch marks in particular. Like, it cuts to black when the cat just goes, Rah! And he's just like, Everybody draws their swords. The magical demon or whatever forms the shape of the cat. Then it cuts to the logo, and in my head, I'm just going, ugh, ugh, ugh. I'm having a bad fur day.
Wait, how is this not in a haunted house too with Damon Wayans? Because this seems like perfect.
Well, for
material
one
for
reason
it.
only. This was a few years after a haunted
Oh.
house was deemed completely pointless.
Well, give me a
And it
haunted
was
house
also
3.
a few
David
years.
B will agree it's the perfect movie ever.
I mean, there's one positive thing about this trailer. It's just that in other foreign film markets, you can make just about anything. Which is why more people really need to pull a Gareth Evans, where like moving to another country and start making films in that area, because you can have more control. Hell, blacklisted directors went to other countries. That dude who made Rafifi, the movie where it's a half hour of not talking when they're breaking into the vault.
Okay.
They're trying to steal a jewel or whatever, but the alarm system is set off by any sound. So there's a half hour of absolute silence as they're breaking and entering. It's a really good French crime movie.
Interesting.
But it's directed by an American who was blacklisted for supposedly being communist, even though he probably wasn't, like most of the blacklisted people.
Yeah.
Then and now, but anyways. But yeah, Legend of the Demon Cat. In the words of Danny McBride in This Is the End, this is real. This is fucking real.
Oh my goodness. I wrote this down and really sort of want to see it now.
Wow.
Like, it just hits my sense of stupidity. I'm probably gonna hate it, but it'd be a good watch.
Oh, well, I haven't seen this movie. I almost forgot about it because that trailer for Freaks or whatever, which is something I haven't seen but really want to. That trailer was on my Blu-ray as well, and it looked pretty decent.
Fair enough. Well, my number 3's one movie I enjoy. It's not a great movie, but it is fun. But this is what we
Isn't
call
it your number 2?
Number 2?
Is it?
No, you did number 3. I'm doing
right.
Yeah. Number 3. The fingers, remember? Yeah. So I love Commando.
How's that for a finger?
Commando is a fun, stupid 80s action movie with it. If you love Arnold Schwarzenegger, you love excess. It's the perfect direct-to-video movie. It's fun to watch with your friends. It's an hour and a half. It's dumb. Arnold gets ice cream on his face and carries a log without a shirt and then beats a bunch of bad guys because they kidnapped his daughter. And he pulls the car out of the seat at a mall and he fires a rocket launcher backwards. It's just nonsense. It's straight up, you know what you're getting into. It's an Arnold movie. But the trailer spoils a lot of things I don't like. So the trailer, first off, it spoils the main one-liner. My favorite, one of the best Arnold one-liners. Remember when you're a funny guy, Sully. I'm going to kill you last. Remember when I told you I'd kill you last, Sully? I lied. Don't put that in the trailer, okay? Save that for the movie.
Seriously?
That's in the trailer.
Oh
they also put let off some steam, Bennett. Don't put that in the trailer. Killing that guy. They also put in like random silly graphics, like they randomly have like the sliding Rocky text, like they're showing like little bits of the text for me. And then there's random things of him clipping grenades to the side. And then they show like half the finale of blowing up the base. And I'm like, I want to watch the movie. Why are you showing me this? Wow. I realize not everyone's going to love Commando. And it's a stupid movie, But I like it. And I sort of don't want it spoiled in the trailer. I'm going to watch.
Here's one question. One question. Do they spoil the "Don't disturb my friend, he's dead tired"?
Yes, they do.
Did they spoil the? Oh wait, I was gonna say one other thing, but they can't put that line in a trailer. Fuck you, asshole.
Fuck they didn't put that in the trailer. Yeah, so
for obvious reasons, anyways.
Yeah, they also have this like repetitive, like Running Man, like piano synth music that plays throughout the whole thing. It's like, yeah, and I'm like, I get it. It's a movie. Don't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more of you can't spoil the movie. That's all I'm saying. What's your number 2? Because that one makes me angry.
My number 2 is the one that inspired me to make this list in the first place. And it was originally number 1 because at that point, this has got to be, it had to have been and still is the most incoherent trailer I have ever seen in my life because not a single shot matches up with the last or even establishes anything story-wise. It's just a series of stupid bits. And the weird thing is, you know how some trailers used to have narration? This goes like for the first half with no narration whatsoever, just focusing on the bits and the occasional title card here and there, because that was still a thing at that point. And then about halfway through, once the characters decide what they're going to do on their journey, that's when the narration kicks. And weirdly enough, that doesn't even explain anything that's going on. It's just another, they may not know what they're doing, but they are going on a journey that they will never forget. And it's just like, no fucking shit. That's what people do in movies. They go on journeys they'll never forget and hopefully learn something. And even if they don't win in the end, they're going to learn something. I mean, look at movies like Stand By Me or Inside Llewyn Davis. Very sad endings, but I mean, they got something out of their quest, or at least I hope they did. But no, this trailer is for the 2007 hit that is Wild Hogs. And for those who don't know, Wild Hogs comes to us from the director of Old Dogs and The Road Chip from Alvin and the Chipmunks. It is about John Travolta, Tim Allen, Martin Lawrence, and William H. Macy going on a motorcycle road trip because they have a biker gang, kind of, just the four of them, in order to escape the really shitty situations that are their daily lives. But the trailer's idea of showing off their daily lives to explain why this road trip means so much to them really makes absolutely no sense. As I'm watching this trailer on my laptop, John Travolta is yelling at someone on the phone in his rich, fancy house, which, if you had seen the movie, you would know it's not his, it's his wife, and his wife leaves him and kicks him out, which means he's got absolutely nothing. If the trailer showed that, I would at least kind of be on his side in this trailer, but no, he's yelling at the 10-year-old who's raking his leaves over how much he's getting paid, which, I mean, that can kind of be funny, but they don't really, the trailer doesn't give any reasons for us to find this funny in the first place. Or, and this is, or in William H. Macy's case, where he's trying to command Siri to do stuff on his laptop, and when he looks at someone in the Starbucks and just goes, I think I have to research alternative specs. Searching alternative sex. What? Listing. No, shut down. Barnyardlove.net. No, shut down. Funwithfruit.com. And it's just like, okay, first of all, I'm willing to bet those are real websites. But second of all, the lady who he's talking to heard exactly what he said. But when the computer is demanding searching alternative sex, that's when she gets freaked out. And it's just like, you heard what he said. You know it's a mistake. Why are you giving him the perv look? So that made absolutely zero sense. And then shows Tim Allen and Martin Lawrence at a carnival. And their way of showing that their lives suck is when Martin Lawrence can't throw a softball worth shit and it ricochets into Tim Allen's crotch. Almost nothing about Martin Lawrence being harassed by his wife and his mother-in-law at home because he's a plumber, which does lead to the best joke in the trailer and the only good joke in the movie, where it's an exchange between the mother-in-law and Martin Lawrence. In my day, ladies stayed home, not the lazy men. In your day, the men were busy building pyramids. I don't know. I've always liked the age reference on that one.
Yeah,
it's horrible. I know, but
I've never seen the trailer, but my dad really wanted to rent this in 2007.
Yeah, you were saying he was into
it.
motorcycles.
Yeah, he watched it because of the motorcycles. That was the reason.
Yeah, but like honestly, it doesn't get any better considering once they finally go on the road trip in the trailer, which is when the narrator finally shows up, because as I pointed out before, he spends the first half doing absolutely nothing. He's a very lazy narrator and he should not be paid for this.
Let's be thinking, if The Devil All the Time had the narrator from this movie, we might like it more.
Only slightly in this case. But I mean, we go from these guys going into a biker bar and being laughed at to all of a sudden the bar is exploding and Tim Allen's just like looks at John Travolta, what did you do? And Travolta's like, maybe I blew up their bar. And we show another explosion. It's just like, okay, first of all, what happened? How the fuck did he blow up a bar? Second of all, what exactly did they do to deserve it? Because all they did was laugh, because it's Tim Allen, John Travolta, William H. Macy, and Martin Lawrence dressed in leather trying to look tough, even though when you fist bump William H. Macy, he will fall off his bike and slam into a for rent sign.
Yeah, Tim Allen looks like Mr. Potato Head trying to be tough.
Well, when he's wearing his dentist outfit, yeah, but
William H. Macy, I believe, could be tough, but not in this movie.
Well, I mean, if you've ever seen Shameless, you know that William H. Macy can be tough. And it really disappoints me that this is his the last season of the show, because he's still really good in it. He's still incredibly drunk and depraved, even during COVID, because they wove that into the story.
Well, I mean, if you're doing a real life story, who wouldn't? But yeah, this is a bad trailer and a bad movie. I've seen the trailer.
Well, even weirdly, like the gang whose bar gets blown up, it's led by Ray Liotta, who's technically the actual villain. And you would expect to see him for more than a few seconds in order to establish what's going on. But no, he's in it for like not even a second. It's really just a cheap montage of how many really stupid, forced, and lazy slapstick gags these guys could all go through in between the cheap gross out jokes, the dick jokes, a couple race jokes in there because Martin Lawrence will go there once in a while. And based on that fun with fruit.com thing, they do throw in some more gay jokes, especially with Dr. Cox from Scrubs. The very end of the trailer is him as a biker cop who stumbles on their camping.
Being like, okay, all right, this is happening. All right.
Yeah. And for anyone who hasn't seen the trailer, Dr. Cox, who has the scariest looking comb over I have ever seen. Seriously, it looks bad. It's one of the fakest looking wigs ever. It's just
every comb over is terrifying.
What do we have here? 4 men in bed spooning. You fellas have no idea how lucky you are to have each other. William H. Macy stands up with no pants because he's the only one not wearing them. He's just like, damn lucky. And look, all those jokes that I just mentioned before, can I laugh at them? Yes. Have I? Yes. There's got to be some context, and there's got to be something brand new about them in order to make it work. That's not what happens in this trailer. It's really just for shock value, especially the final exchange. Are you wearing pants? No. Which, again, can be funny, but they take the laziest approaches to it whatsoever. And the only good thing about this trailer is honestly the only good thing about the movie, which is that Martin Lawrence and William H. Macy not only have decent enough chemistry, but they're the only ones with arcs. I'm just realizing Marissa Tomei is the one who ends up getting engaged to Macy, and she's only in it for a second, and it leads to, again, one of the only good bits where it's just like, she is perfect. I wanted to say something funny, but all I can think of was black jokes, and Martin Lawrence just goes, please do tell. Which, again, not a good bit, but...
No. It sounds better when you say it than the actual movie. That's
I'm willing to bet I make it sound better, which really just goes to show that it's a dumb and stupid concept. Yeah. You can make it work. These guys can and have all been funny. Mm-hmm. But this is the director of Old Dogs and Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Road Chip. Oh, and Clifford the Big Red Dog, which comes out in November.
Out of that?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
David Alan Grier from In Living Color is Clifford. I mean, that could be something.
I liked In Living Color. It was a fine little show.
I find it weird that Kel from Kenan and Kel was in the Clifford TV show, but Kenan is in the movie, which makes me wonder if Kel got fired or something.
Well, all I know is Kenan Thompson from SNL is getting a show, so I might watch it. Who knows?
That's right. I forgot about
that. I don't know. I might go for it. My number 2 is one that the trailer in itself is not a horrible crime. But the way I experienced it and the way this trailer played is the crime. 2008. Let's set the scene. I'm going to watch Chronicles of Narnia, the first one. I very much enjoyed. For the 7th time in the theaters. And every time I kept getting free passes and I got to go to the movies and I just watched Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh, you lucky bastard. I know somebody who's seen Baby Driver 7 times.
I saw Chronicles of Narnia 15 times in the movie theater and I only paid for it once. Everyone just kept giving me free passes. We saw it through school, free passes. My mom paid for it. It was great. I saw this movie. I really liked the first one. It holds.
You lucky bastard.
I know, right?
I mean, but it's the only good Narnia movie.
Every time I went to the damn movie theater, you know what's playing on the screens? Coming soon, Bunny fucking House. I don't know, the Bunny House. I don't know. And every time, all the TVs in the Cineplex are playing this. It's really loud, and I'm like, I don't want to see your bunny house movie. And literally, I could not escape this thing. You know what? I go home, I'm watching something on TV, The Bunny House on the radio, listen to the Bunny House in theaters. I'm like, I want to get away from you. I started eating rabbit after I saw this thing too long, and it's freaking delicious. I'm sorry, vegans, but I like rabbit sausage. I cannot stand this trailer or this movie. So the reason I cannot stand this is because the trailer music is, first of all, some irritating like TV jingle. You could sell a freaking car with this that doesn't actually have tires. The jokes are so poorly paced and hit. It's literally like, you're fucking ugly, you suck, this is how it works, but I'm gonna make you pretty. And like, Anna Faris talents is completely wasted in this trailer, because now that I know who she is, she's a much better actress than this. It just makes me angry that they made a dumb movie about making people who are comfortable being themselves not fit into society. And then they're like, oh, that didn't work. I wonder why making people act different didn't freaking work. And then there's like a rivalry between Next Door and like, I don't know, like Anna Faris wearing no clothes, because apparently that's a thing that they did in 2008. I don't know. It's literally a Playboy bunny and a high school fraternity, and it's really dumb. It's a Happy freaking Madison production, so it even gets worse on that list. And I just saw it. I think I saw this trailer about 120 times. I am really tired of this trailer. They played it before Chronicles of Narnia. I guess kids want to see Playboy bunnies. I don't know. It makes me angry. No, they did. They played it before the movie. They showed a PG
what
cut
theater
of this
did you
film.
go to?
The Cineplex in Waterloo. They played a PG cut of this movie. They just trimmed out all the stuff and put it on screen.
Okay, yeah.
I don't like it. I would rather watch Man of the House with what's his name? And that's really bad.
Don't go there.
It's
don't
bad
go there.
because at least I didn't see the trailer 100 bloody times, and I hate this thing. I hate this trailer, and every time I walk into a Cineplex, I stop looking at the TVs now because I don't want to see what's going on. I don't want to see what's coming. I will find out for myself, because Bunny House, you fucking suck.
Okay, so the day in which you and I finally go see something together, you are staring at the floor the entire time while we're in the lobby. Is that what you're saying?
I'll talk to you, or I'll talk to the concession person. I'll talk to the freaking stranger picking this.
Yeah, while you're staring at the wall and the floor, trying to avoid the TVs. This is going to be really interesting.
Zone out the sound. Just zone out the sound, okay? So that I don't attract to it. You know, it just. Oh my goodness! I just don't get it. I'd rather have them advertise special edition Star Wars cups with like freaking Pikachus and a cat attached to it surgically, you know, like that's more interesting than an actual Bunny House ad. There are many other things I'd rather have my finger stitched up again when I cut it with freaking a knife off with freaking sweet potato knife than watch the Bunny House trailer again. I don't like it. I'm done. Go ahead to your number one.
Well, first of all, kids do want to see Playboy models, but their parents aren't supposed to know that. So putting a PG version of that trailer in front of Narnia is probably the worst sign to parents.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes me angry.
Gee, I thought I was going to get mad at my number one, but you just got that
worse. It makes
you just got that furious at your number 6.
I'm
so
too fast, too furious. Just call me ludicrous.
No, I won't do that, because even Ludacris deserves better than being stuck listening to Tyrese for 2 hours straight.
Grass is always greener on the other side. Caterpillar to a butterfly.
I guess, but my number one is, have you ever heard of a movie called Bogus?
No, but do tell.
Okay, so Bogus is about a newly orphaned kid played by Haley Joel Osment who is being sent to live with his mom's former foster sister, which I guess is technically his aunt. They don't really make that part clear, at least not in the trailer. I haven't seen the movie. His mom's foster sister, played by Whoopi Goldberg, who during the entire trailer says that she has absolutely no idea how to deal with children, that this is an absolutely bad mistake to make, which I find very interesting, because throughout the entire thing, she knows exactly what to say to this kid in order to get him out of his shell, to at least be more open and honest about his pain in order to move on. So already this trailer is incredibly inconsistent because I have absolutely no idea how she thinks she's bad at this, because she tells this kid exactly what he needs to hear. She's just like, you have to move on, you have to be able to grow up and such, which is all 100% true. So I have absolutely no idea what's going on here. But the main catch with this movie is that Haley Joel has an imaginary friend, Bogus, this French magician played by Gerard Depardieu. I don't know if that's actually how you pronounce it or not, but yeah, this imaginary friend is there to help this kid cope. But the weird thing is, he has this imaginary world that Haley Joel Osment can somehow teleport to, even though it's imaginary. And throughout the entire thing, Bogus is going around saying, this is not crazy. This is imagination, but I am not real. This place is not real, which must be why halfway through, Whoopi Goldberg can all of a sudden see him too, since he comes to her, because apparently she needs his help in order to be a better parent for this kid. And when she starts hearing this random guy's voice, would you like to see me? And he all of a sudden like magically fades in, and she's just like, what are all these people doing in my house? And needless to say, like, that bit was already so fucking weird. The way they reveal him to her is just utterly. Oh, I forgot to even mention, like, it's so inconsistent. There's one point where Haley Joel is talking to Bogus in the bathtub. And of course, Bogus has all of his clothes on, but Haley Joel doesn't. My God, this is so fucking weird. But anyways, back onto Whoopi's arc. She goes from being so wide-eyed and freaked out to all of a sudden in the next shot, she's just like, where were you when I was little, when I needed you? And he's just like, I was there. Cut to this imaginary black world where, like, when I say black, I mean like the walls, the floors, everything, it's just pitch black. And all of a sudden, like, little girl Whoopi Goldberg is dancing with this older French gentleman. And then all of a sudden, Whoopi as an adult is dancing ballet with him. And it's just like, where the fuck is this coming from? This is unbelievably inconsistent. And what's bogus is one of the title cards. I'll tell you what bogus is. It's fucking insane and actually kind of creepy. I'm surprised people don't use clips from this movie as a stranger danger commercial, the same way they use Buster Scruggs with CG cats to sell baking soda or whatever. At least, I'm not kidding. Arm & Hammer has commercials that just put cat faces on Buster Scruggs. It's fucking stupid.
Cat commercials, they are weird, man. I've actually seen this.
You have.
We rented it on VHS from the video store and turned it off about 20 minutes in. We couldn't do it. I don't remember much, but I remember my parents were like, yeah, no.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, it's one thing to be ungodly sappy, because that's exactly what this trailer is. It's another thing if it doesn't make any fucking sense. And not only did this trailer fail at making the relationship between Whoopi Goldberg and Haley Joel seem flawed, because it really doesn't seem all that flawed to begin with. Not only does it fail to focus on that relationship to begin with, I haven't even gotten to the fact that it can't even show Whoopi being upset about her foster sister dying. We see like a brief glimpse of Haley Joel's mom being hit by a car, then cut to the funeral, which is just a wide shot of the cemetery. You don't even see the kid grieving at his funeral. And then all of a sudden, cut to Haley Joel on the plane heading to Whoopi's house, because it's that kind of foster system where he's drawing an imaginary figure on like a sketchbook, and then it starts talking in very creepy CGI way. He goes to the bathroom with the sketchbook, and all of a sudden Bogus just pops out of the book, hits his head on the bathroom ceiling, even though he's imaginary. He's just like, I am Bogus. Yeah, we know you're Bogus. 2 scenes ago, you two were already friends. You were already in the imaginary world. And it's just, what the fuck is going on here? I really don't understand.
I watched it as a kid and tried to forget it. The trailer was on the Patch Adams VHS, and my mom thought it looked nice.
Of course it was.
And it was like, look, an inspirational movie that could be good for the family. We'll find it. No.
I feel so bad for Haley Joel.
I was like, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh God. I'm still watching the trailer. It's just like, okay, I've already seen a naked kid and a fully clothed French man in a bathtub. I do not need to see them hugging in bed like their father and son. This is not what they're going for. I rant about how stupid it is to be politically correct and censorship, but this is one of the few times where I am all for it because my God, there are so many talented people. Gerard Depardieu was an Oscar-nominated actor. Whoopi Goldberg and Haley Joel Osment also nominated, and in Whoopi's case, winning. This is from Norman Jewison, who got nominated for Best Picture for a fucking Canadian comedy, The Russians Are Coming. Norman Jewison is
I love The Russians
director.
Are Coming. That's a great film.
Yeah, and he's directed other great stuff. He's directed other great stuff like Rollerball, the original Rollerball, and Moonstruck. Dude's very talented. I don't know what the fuck happened here. He went from directing Denzel Washington in The Hurricane to this.
Ooh, I like The Hurricane. I do think Whoopi happened because she made dinosaurs. So.
What are you talking about?
You haven't seen the terrible Whoopi Goldberg dinosaur movie?
I have not, but thanks for putting that on my list of shit not to watch.
There were two movies, like Whoopi Goldberg made like a few really good movies there, and then all of a sudden, yeah,
like in my, you remember my Rudolph
it's
Christmas
called
review?
Theodore Rex. That's what it's called. And an alternative futuristic, a tough female detective is paired with a talking dinosaur to find a killer dinosaur and other prehistoric animals, leading to a mad scientist bent on creating a new Armageddon. She was contractually obligated to do this movie and didn't fight it with lawyers.
And now she's the moderator of The View.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened?
Well, being on The View is not an
seriously,
achievement.
like, you're
Literally,
right. She
someone
made
from
good
Full House
stuff.
could get on there, okay? That's how easy it is.
Seriously, Whoopi, you did The Color Purple. You did
Great film.
Ghost. And now the last thing I remember her doing was Nobody's Fool with Tyler Perry.
I mean, Sister Act was fun. I'll give her that. I think she had a good time in that. It's just a fun movie. Not great,
and
but fun.
She's given interviews where it's just like, Disney keeps telling me nobody don't want to make Sister Act 3. That's because nobody wants to make Sister Act 3 except for you. But because Disney Plus is looking for shit to reinvent, that's Sister Act 3.
Well, I guess we can't get Holes 2 because I'd like to see that. But
that'd be great. There's
something
literally
I don't know what happened with Shia LaBeouf. I'm not up on it, but I guess we can't get it.
There was literally a second book about Armpit, the chubby dude who everybody was afraid to go around because he just stank up the place. There's an entire book about him.
Mm-hmm.
And X-Ray, the leader, is like a side character in there.
You know what they should do? They should get the rights to Charlie and the Great Grass Elevator and stop remaking freaking Willy Wonka. There's literally more books. Remake the other books. They go to the moon. There's a weird space hotel. You get Dan Harmon to direct it, make it very Rick and Morty-ish with like Timothy Chalamet in there. I don't know what the fuck. It'd be weird.
That reminds me. As we are making this, the trailer for Disney Plus's Cruella is out there now.
Maybe, I don't know.
Like, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Would I like to see Emma Stone as Cruella DeVille? Yes. Is the director talented? Yes. Craig Gillespie, who made Lars and the Real Girl and I, Tonya. So he knows how to direct. So I have a little bit more faith on the talent aspect of it, but I got nothing
where's
left.
my live action remake of The Hunchback of Notre Dame?
Wait, I don't need that. Man.
Where's that? Or where's I don't know.
Dude, I know what's gonna happen. Josh Gad's gonna be Quasimodo. He's gonna be an even bigger sap than he was in the original. There's gonna be no darkness towards it, even though there was darkness in the original.
No, see, here's my pitch for Hunchback of Notre Dame remake. I don't know who's going to be Esmeralda. I don't really have anyone particularly in mind. I want Andy Serkis as the Hunchback. I want what's his name? Oh my goodness. I want Idris Elba to play the weird priest dude. I don't know if he can sing, but I want him. And I want it directed by Del Toro. I want Guillermo del Toro to direct this thing, make it weird and fucked up. Because imagine his death traps and everything and the festival. And then, I mean, even as Esmeralda, if you got like, who would you get in there? My goodness, who would, off the top of my head?
It's actually a good question.
Maybe if you got like even Zendaya, who did really good in Malcolm and Marie, and put her in there. But like, you get Del Toro, you get Andy Serkis to be a character actor. Like, This is a movie I want to see. I want to see Idris Elba be bad because I like that man. And I want him to get cast in something because they're not going to give him Bond and they're not going to give him Last of Us. So give him this.
Idris Elba would be a really good Frollo. I would love to see that. That entire pitch sounds cool. It's never going to happen, but it sounds really damn cool.
That would be the movie I want to see. Make it rated R. Make it as dark as you possibly can, or even a PG-13 or something. Make it. That
reminds me. I got to look up when Disney Plus is putting all their R-rated stuff because Little Miss Sunshine is part of that.
That is a fun little movie. Anyway.
So, anyways, your number one, assuming we're still in good recording quality.
We're still in good recording quality. Yes.
Right on.
We only cut out for 10 seconds twice, so we are flying high. I like that. So my number one is a movie that makes me very angry because this movie has no right to exist. This movie is something that we never needed. It is what Disney's called making money without reason. Now, this movie makes me angry for many reasons. It's Rogue One. I don't like Rogue One. I don't see a need for Rogue One. First of all, it was directed by someone else. Then it was reshot. They cut the footage. The trailer, there's multiple trailers. I'm mad at all the trailers today. All the trailers. Because first trailer is different and they have different footage. Then they do another trailer and re-release it later. And Gareth Edward comes in to try to fix that. They bring back CG Leia after Carrie Fisher died. That's not cool. Grand Moff Tarkin is a mess. I never asked why the Death Star had a hole in it. I never asked that question. It's like if they literally made a sequel to whatever that Sausage Party movie was with Seth Rogen about why donuts have holes in them. I don't need that. I don't need that in my life.
I know why.
The trailer is boring. They literally are trying to rip off Age of Ultron. And I will explain. So first of all, how to make an Age of Ultron trailer. You need to show all your characters saying minimal dialogue, 1 or 2 lines, and cut between them. Then you need a melodramatic, tuned down, minor version of a film, of a song that everyone likes. So let's just make the Imperial March depressing as fuck. And then you show a big action montage, and you've got yourself an Age of Ultron. And you know what else you need? Constant fades to black. As if we don't know that things happen. We're not even cutting to text. Oh, look, a Death Star, fade. Oh, look, a Star Destroyer, fade. Oh, look, that character that we put in the movie from Clone Wars, fade. Oh, look, another person, fade. Oh, look, Donnie Yen, fade. What's going on? And then, you know what you need? You need to make it overly epic and disappoint. You're like, oh, you know that thing? That's going to be really epic. Why is it epic? Because we literally put the freaking Star Wars themes in it. That's why. You put John Williams on there and you got me excited. Not for the actual movie, but for the actual song. The soundtrack is good. And then you have the audacity to tell me we're looking for rebels. I rebel. And then you didn't even put it in the freaking movie. If you're going to do something stupid like that, at least give me something to laugh at. And why are they on a beach? That's not in the movie. Why are you putting these things in the trailer that aren't in the movie? No, they're on a beach as the world explodes or whatever. And I'm like, no. And I don't care if you like the Darth Vader scene or not. I think it ruins continuity. That's a little bit in the trailer. Why is that there? You should have saved that. That is a cool-ass moment that people would have been like, I like that. It's like you don't put the Wonder Woman in the Batman v Super trailer because you want people to be freaking excited because it's freaking Wonder Woman. She's going to kick your ass. You know, like you just don't do that. I don't know who Disney paid, but they should get their money back. They should sue them. They should burn this movie in hell and just get it out of here because it has no reason to exist. It's like if I made a movie about how I carved a chair, but there's no reason to why you care about this chair. I don't get it. I don't understand. It makes me angry. I'm getting upset. I'm going to stop now. Tyler, I like your mustache. It's a good mustache. It's a good length. Makes me angry, man.
It is not at a good length. It covers my entire mouth, but thank you anyways.
It's just got a good length and nice fullness. Just a great mustache.
Yeah, that's because my face isn't like that close to the camera. But here's another question. What was Jyn Erso doing pointing a gun at a fucking TIE fighter? I wanted to see her shoot a fucking TIE fighter down with a blaster. Can you imagine how awesome that would have been?
Rise of Skywalker.
Just shoot it for the window, bam, point blank in the face.
But at least in Rise of Skywalker, she jumped a TIE fighter like they were partially showing in the trailer. At least we got that. At least they delivered on what they gave us. Rise of Skywalker, Force Awakens, all those movies, even Solo, they showed us and we got exactly what they showed us. They delivered. You have to advertise what your movie is and not try. It's literally Age of Ultron. I'm not kidding.
Well, I mean, the Fade to Black thing is awesome because like Angry Video Game Nerd and his 10 worst movie cliches, that was number 2. And he's just like, next time you go to a theater, count how many times they fade to black. It might not be something casual audiences will recognize, but we fucking hate it.
There's other ways to cut a trailer. You can do audio transitions. You can do graphic cuts. You can cut from a clock to a character saying something. You can recut a scene. You can cut from
there's
action
another
to action to build the intensity. There's many ways to cut a trailer. That's not how you do it.
Well, his number 3 was actually another trailer cliche when the music stops as soon as someone's about to make a joke or after someone makes a joke, which is technically being done well. It's just whenever a comedy is bad, that's when you notice how stupid that bit is. Or they'll try to make it even funnier when they do the record skip, which again, once in a while can be funny. I've used it in a couple of my videos. In my Barbie and the Nutcracker Christmas review, I put that record skip when I said, this is what Captain Candy looks like. And he looks like a rejected sketch of an Aladdin character.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or when I stopped the music, I was like building up how Barbie movies were technically better after Barbie and the Nutcracker. I was pointing out they at least put the effort to do this and that. And then the music stops as I said, they sucked at it, but at least they were putting in some effort.
Yeah, I mean, and then the other thing, my main problem with this, and I'm calm now because I got my rant out. They're like, we got to do this. Yeah. Hey, force. Yes. It must help. Like they just cut around from single dialogue to single dialogue to single dialogue, and it's just a lot, you know.
Yeah. So those are our worst trailers, huh? Hello.
I'm still here. Yeah, those are our worst trailers. No, just a notification popped up, and I was like, "What's going on?" I just want to make sure it didn't cut the recording. So if I ever see the bunny house, people are gonna die.
I believe you on that. Wow.
Yeah,
I did not see that coming. I'll give you that.
I mean, if I hadn't seen the trailer before, I'd just be like, it's another stupid movie. But now I'm like, no.
That is absolutely fair. I feel bad for every parent who has to explain what a bunny house is to their kids.
Yeah. Well,
especially considering they're our age now.
Yeah, anyway, that's the Josh and Tyler show. Check out Tyler Wolf with 2F for fucking fantastic on his channel over there. He's got a review up of Malcolm and Marie, which I watched. And really solid movie, great review, and highly recommend watching it. It was a little too real and hit close to home as I am the director who sometimes forgets to thank people and gets really wrapped up in my work. And I said, this is a life lesson for me. So
are you that reminds me, are you ever going to make a movie about how your actor was incredibly disappointed with the end result?
Oh, well, that's a story for another time, isn't it? Anyway, Tyler Wolf's channel is in the description. We've got Community Cast Wednesday and Saturday. We've got Working Professional on Sunday night. We've got a bunch of these this week coming up. We have Brittany and Joey on and talking about astronomy, life, and about cake in the face, because that's how it goes. And we got a bunch of stuff coming up, and vinyl madness coming up Monday. We're going to be reviewing this wonderful modern baseball Holy Ghost. We're going to check it out there. Great Canadian indie rock, and I can't wait to let you hear my thoughts on that and the impact it has on the singer's mental health. Thanks for joining us on the Josh and Tyler show, and this has been so happy for me. Get a few things off my chest, but Tyler, say something awesome.
Bogus is fucking creepy.
And that's it for us. Join us next time on the Tyler and Josh show.